Everything that I ever accomplished, I really had to work hard for. I hold pride in being a good professional. That means to add something to the act without taking anything away.
How did this become your dream?
I grew up with a father who was obsessed with this.
Ludwig Kaiser.
It was meant to happen.
She won the championship.
That was really a huge moment.
I feel like your moment is just around the corner.
It's definitely there. We're moving towards it.
You've really improved your facial expression. That's it. You go way back with Gunther.
Way back.
Does anybody hit harder than Gunther?
He's the real deal. It's better to be on Gunther's side than against him.
You ever turn on him?
I don't think so.
What's the goal in this year?
Everything is going in the right direction. 2025 is a big year for Ludwig Kaiser.
All right, before we dive into this one, and it is such a great conversation, this is your chance to win tickets to UFC 313 in Las Vegas. Morgan & Morgan is the official law firm partner of the UFC. Fighting is in Morgan & Morgan's DNA. Just like how UFC fighters bring their everything in the octagon, Morgan & Morgan attorneys bring their everything for their clients in courtrooms across America. Morgan & Morgan is giving away 2 tickets to the Pereira versus Ankalaev fight in Las Vegas, plus $2,000. You can enter for your chance to win at morganufc.com. That's all thanks to Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, morganufc.com, or click that link down below. Good luck.
So good to see you. Thank you for making this happen.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad it worked out.
You were deceivingly tall.
Yeah, a lot of people tell me when they meet me for the first time in person, they say, wow, you're taller than I thought. I'm 6'4".
I guess when you're next to Gunther for a lot of your career, he's a big dude.
Yeah, he is a big dude. And yeah, he's a smidge taller, maybe. A smidge taller.
I don't know, maybe you got to put something in your boots then.
Yeah,
you know?
A lot of people said that. I don't know. I feel like I would lose stability a little bit, I feel like. Maybe I just tell myself, I don't know. Maybe I
lose stability, gain height. I don't know.
Height, yeah, but then when people see me outside, they're going to be disappointed.
I don't know.
They look like I thought you're tall. 6'4" is fine, but you're not a short guy either. So
I'm certainly not that tall.
Well,
appreciate it.
That's okay.
Let's keep the facade going here. Maybe I need to put some lifts in my boots.
You have cool boots on. I meant to say that. So.
Thank you. The Jordan 4s. I know nothing about sneakers, but I wear them because people are like, "Hey, those are cool."
Hey man, I gotta tell you, like, as long as it looks good, you know, as a man with a younger girlfriend, I can tell you, don't jump on the trends. Just wear what's good. What you think is good. My girlfriend, she brings me gifts here and there of the new trend brands like ALO. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Otherwise,
ALO?
she's gonna burn me. So.
Right, ALO.
ALO, is it
I think
ALO?
that's it.
I think so.
Yeah.
She bought me some stuff. It looks great and stuff. It's just it's nothing that I would buy myself.
So she's trying to be like, hey, babe, this would be great if you wore this.
I think so. Yeah. The thing is too, I gotta say, I am. If something looks good, I'll get it. It's. I'm not very brand driven. I'm very classic too. I'm not too. You're not gonna see me with super colorful shoes or stuff like that.
This
I like
looks
it classy.
great.
Thank you so very much.
It's very classy.
I like to keep it, European elegance.
That's exactly what you got here.
There you
black
go.
on black on black.
A little bit of white right here.
Perfect.
Just to I'm trying my best, Chris. I'm trying my best.
You had a heck of a year in 2024.
Yeah.
Where did you feel like it really kicked off for you?
Man, it's hard to say just because, like you said, a lot of stuff happened last year. And it was a little bit of an up and down as well. Really everything, I've been in the company for so long already, it feels like everything that I ever did or accomplished, I really had to work hard for. Like nothing was given to me. And I think that definitely one of the major moments was basically right in the beginning of the year, first few weeks, the match against Kofi Kingston. Giovanni Vinci was hurt a couple of weeks back. I think it was the thing with the drop kick to the head, and all of a sudden he was out. And yeah, the way this business works, right? All of a sudden you're in that spot and you get that chance that you haven't really gotten before. So I was told very, very firmly, very directly what they want to see that night. And I think it was a little bit of a test as well because they wanted a side that they haven't seen from Ludwig Kaiser so far. And a side that comes very naturally to me and that I love to show, but it was never time. It was just never that spot to really do that. And as soon as I did it the first night, it worked. Everybody saw it, and I think that night definitely, right in the beginning of the year, was an important one.
What was the specific direction you were given for this mean streak?
Well, the thing, obviously, when we first came in, the focus was heavily on Gunther. To me, I hold pride in being a good professional. Not only a good professional wrestler, but a good professional. And that means also to know your spot and I always try to add something to the act without taking anything away. That was always my goal. And the tools that I have and that I can work with very well are perfect for what we do here for the main roster. And I found that out pretty quickly. So I found my ways just to, make myself valuable, make the act better within my, within the ways I was given, or like in my, as good as I could, pretty much.
I think people forget how long you've been in WWE. So you signed in 2018, right?
Yeah.
So you're coming up on 7 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. It's been a long time. And, obviously you see me, like, you can go down the career a little bit. It's NXT, it's main roster and this and that, but so much different stuff happened as well, obviously on private base. I basically took 2 suitcases, put everything I had in there, and left the country, left my family, left my friends, left everybody I knew. And 9 hours later, you get out of the plane and I'm in Orlando, and there's a whole new chapter in front of me, and there's so much stuff that I don't know what's going to happen or what it's going to be like. And it was very, very exciting.
Was that your first time in the U.S.?
First time in the U.S.
You hadn't been visited before?
I've never visited. I had no idea how things go over here. I had no Uber. I had no credit card. I had nothing, because it's not normal to have a credit card in Germany necessarily.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't. I was pretty broke all my life, basically. I did my by choice. I gotta say, I could have done more on the job side, but I just always wanted to wrestle, man. I moved out when I was 18. Lived under a ring for like a couple of weeks at my first wrestling school, and I got my first apartment. And man, again, like I really had to fight hard for this. And so that was the first time I was basically grabbing 2 suitcases, leaving, and being all on my own. And then the same thing, basically 10 years later in America, standing there, Orlando. How old was I? 28 or something. And,
so rewind it to how did you even get on WWE's radar?
I think definitely what I've heard is the story that I've heard is that WWE was looking for a German wrestler, and they scheduled a tour through Germany to look at talent, go through all the different wrestling schools and stuff. And apparently Mr. William Regal, who I'm always going to be grateful for that, heard or saw my name on the list, and he knew my dad, and they saw my picture, they saw everything, and he pointed on me and said, like, cancel the tour, we'll take him.
Wow.
I was one of the guys, actually, I never had to do a tryout.
Wow.
Because I was supposed to do one, but 3 weeks before, I blew my knee out. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that. I'm not sure if I ever said that. But yeah, I got injured and I had to cancel the tryout. So obviously right in the match already, I thought, oh my God, this is over. Because when I first started this, I never thought I would go to WWE. It was not like my big goal to be like, okay, I gotta go to WWE or otherwise this is all for nothing. No, I wanted to do my dad proud. I wanted to be a professional wrestler. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to do all of that, But now when you got the chance, you want to do it.
Is it because you didn't think it was possible?
I think so, yeah. Because like back in the day too, when I first grew up in wrestling, it was very, very tough. Honestly, before Hunter had that vision and opened up that door for us, none of us, like not Gunther, not myself, not Pete Dunne, all those guys, Finn Balor, I don't think we would be here today. So without Hunter, without men like William Regal, men like Dave Taylor, Robbie Brookside, Fit Finlay, all those guys who paved that way for us European talent, I'll always be grateful for that, definitely, because without them, I don't think we would be here today.
So with your dad being a pro wrestler, did you grow up around it?
Very much so, yeah. The first tapes I watched were really bad quality VHS cassettes and stuff. So I always grew up with those two sides of wrestling, basically. I did watch the Hulk Hogan's and the Razor Ramones and the Mr. Perfects. I loved those. I love this side of wrestling, but also I grew up with those old tapes, very bad quality in a gigantic tent. Or like the entire tent is full of smoke, and it's more like a football, soccer stadium kind of vibe in there, more rowdy, more, you know. I grew up with that as well. So yeah, my heroes growing up were guys like, you know, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart and Hulk Hogan, but they were always Axel Dieter, Mile Cyrno, Steve Wright, all those guys that are not necessarily known all over the world nowadays, you know?
I don't feel like there was a path before this. Like you're saying, like there wasn't a path for European wrestlers
very tough
10, 20 years ago.
Very tough. And there's been a few, but like especially like I said, like Mr. William Regal, he paved the way. He kind of like set the standard too. All of a sudden there was an eye for European work. I mean, the European professional wrestlers always had a little bit of the, you know, reputation of being very solid workers, students of the game. But those guys went over there and they showed it, especially with those schedules back in the day. Like they really put us on the map, you know.
So if there wasn't a path to do this, how did this become your dream?
I think it's one of those. I grew up with a father who was obsessed with this. Obsessed. Like I don't think he's been married 5 times. He spoke 5 languages. He's born 1933. Very tough times in Germany, you know. And he had to run away with his family, and he actually started going to the military in France to fight against Germany.
Wow.
So my family was always very much in danger back then. And so they ran away, and he was in the French Legion, being 13 years old. You know, he had a crazy life. So he was so proud of this. He was so proud of professional wrestling. And first things I remember is sitting in front of the TV watching his matches, you know? And yeah, I think it just, I don't know, it's in my blood, it's in my DNA. I feel like I can't even remember a day where this whole passion wasn't there for me. So I think it's my dad. It's definitely my dad. It's definitely, of course, my mom who put up with all that stuff for so many years, first with him, now with me. You know? But yeah, it's definitely him, and that, that will to make him proud. And the first 10 years of my career I wrestled in his boots. They were already 30 years old at that point, but
wow.
I carried them for another 10.
So who was Ludwig Kaiser before WWE?
I was Axel Dieter Jr. Axel Dieter Jr., first match in 2008 in Hamburg. We had a little bit of a scene going back then, really, like especially in North Germany. We had a little bit of stuff going. That's the first time I actually met Gunther. We basically traveled for the next 10 years all around Europe, mostly Germany, I would say, a little bit of Scandinavia in the first 5 years, and then with WXW really popping up all of a sudden and being really hot. We had an actual tour schedule. I think we almost had like 100 dates one year, which was crazy for our standards back then, you know?
Wow.
It's unheard of at this point. Then I did some progress, and then all of a sudden, like all the American indies there was possibilities to go there as well. But yeah, then I already got my WWE offer as well. So I had to choose.
You go way back with Gunther.
Way back.
I looked it up. You had your 4th match against him.
Mm-hmm.
Way back. There's that throwback photo of you guys. You look unrecognizable, both of you.
Yeah, I wish I would that hair again. I would love that hair again. I had really full hair back then, not a wrinkle in my face. Hey man, like a lot of stuff happened. That was actually the very, very first night we hung out. It was after a wrestling show, and we had drinks somewhere and hung out. And yeah, from that day on, he helped me a lot after that as well, because he was already wrestling for a few years, and I was just starting out. I don't think I even had my first match at that point. But yeah, that's how it all started.
Could you imagine you and Gunther now going back and talking to those 2 guys from that photo?
I was about to say he would probably be a little bit more mature than I am. He probably wouldn't, honestly. If I really think about it, he's a little older than me, but we would tough to deal with, I think. Tough to deal with. Nice guy, nice boys though. Very nice boys. Very nice boys.
You said your father spoke 5 languages. Do you speak 2?
I speak 2. Yeah, I like. For 60 seconds, I can act like I speak Italian, French, and Spanish, but it's really just the first, hey, how you doing? What's your name? This and that, blah blah.
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Bien.
Yeah.
Je m'appelle Marcel.
Je m'appelle Chris.
Yeah. Parlez-vous français?
This is about the end of it. Un petit peu.
Un petit peu.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at.
Yep, same.
You know? Buongiorno, come ti chiami?
I don't have anything there.
There you go.
That's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
What else?
What did we say? Spanish? Hola, me llamo Marcel. ¿Cómo estás?
This is good.
And all the, well, I really got to be careful because I'm friends with a lot of the Mexican boys, and everything they teach me is, I shouldn't say here. You know, it's a little. Sometimes I blur things out. He's like, "Oh no, you can't say that here." I'm like, "Well, that's all you're teaching me." You know, but yeah, no, I speak German and English.
At what age did you learn English?
Well, we learned from third grade on, but obviously with my dad, and then obviously too wrestling. Wrestling is just so good to learn English. I knew words like tables, ladders, chairs, and all that before I even knew what sentences are really. Yeah, third grade on, and I always was very interested in it as well because of my dad and because of wrestling, obviously.
If you're learning English from wrestling, good thing you don't have a JR accent. You know, right? Like Jim Ross.
That's true.
If that's where you're learning, English from.
There's a couple of accents I'm very happy that I don't have. Also, the German one, as I said before, the typical German accent is horrible. It makes my ears.
You don't have the stereotypical German accent.
Trying not to have it.
You kind of have unambiguous European accent. People probably ask you all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Where are you from?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I told you before. I'm really trying to get rid of the accent in my daily life just a little bit, just to blend in a little bit. But like the second sentence, and everybody's, "Oh, where are you from?" Because Americans are so nice too. They want to ask you stuff like, if you would ask somebody, "How are you?" in Germany that you never met before, people would like, "What are you trying to sell me?" But over here, people are just so nice and stuff. So it's, I can't really go as an American yet.
Do you think that Germans live up to the stereotype that they're not that friendly?
Yeah. Like I'm not like.
Why aren't you guys friendly?
It's not. It is really what you see is what you get.
Okay.
If somebody from over there is friendly to you, they really like you. It is always straight to the point. It is always straight to the point. There's no beating around the bush. You say things how they are. And there's a lot of good things in that, I think. When it comes to conflict, for example, you save so much time and drama to just like put your cards on the table and go like, look, this is my situation, this is yours. I'm a big believer in that. But but then again, man, I got to tell you now, having a little distance to it, like there's a lot of things Germans are really, really annoying at. Like, Germans are very on the dot, on the... excuse me, sir, this is not how you're supposed to do this. This is not the proper way. Everything is regulated to the latest, like last little detail and everything. So, there's pros and cons wherever you go, man. And now I see the cons of Germany much more than I used to.
Because you've been here 7 years, so you're seeing it, right?
A long time.
What was the biggest adjustment to American life? Because I moved here 15 years ago, but there's some. Especially the first few months, I was like, "Oh, that's different," in a good or bad way.
So many things you just don't know. I mean, like I came over here, I didn't know any of the fast food restaurants or something like that. Like, of course, I knew Burger King, McDonald's. We have all that stuff. But for example, we have that LA Fitness down the road, and I thought it's called La Fitness. And I was like, I have no idea, because it's like you all of a sudden you come to that different world almost. You step in that plane, and 9 hours later, like all those rules and all those things that you grew up with are different. Stuff like trying to get in an Uber and you want to sit next to the driver, and he's looking at you like, "Oh," I'm like, "That's not how you do it." In Germany, you sit next to the driver. Stuff like that, Driving in Florida is something that I still can't get used to.
No one will get used to driving in Florida.
It's the Wild West, man. It's crazy. You can't
I
make
lived
it
there
up.
for 5 years. Why do people put their four-ways on when it's raining? They put on their flashers when it's raining just to let people know I'm an idiot.
Nobody's indicating. Nowhere.
Oh, that's true.
Nowhere. I love this thing where you can, in America, just take a turn, a right turn whenever, there's a red light or whatever. You can still do a right turn. I love this. It makes so much sense.
Right turn on red,
If people would like keep that lane
That's
open
in
for
most
the guys who
states.
actually want to take a turn, that'd be awesome. But,
that's
stuff
true.
like that. It is just, it's horrible, man. And it's Florida. It's not America. It's Florida.
Florida's kind of its own beast.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It is tough.
But you get great weather in Florida.
Amazing. I love it, and a lot of people complain about it. It's too humid. It's this and that. Man, if you're from Germany, I'll take any heat. I don't care. Yeah. I'll take anything because I love Hamburg. I love my home. I love where I come from. But it's like London weather. It's cloudy. It's rainy. It's cold. It's not me, man.
I lived in Florida for 5 years, and I learned that if you have to put on a layer of clothing when you leave the house, it's quote unquote cold.
That's true.
If you have to put on a hoodie, oh my gosh, what?
And
it's so cold today.
You get used to it so quickly.
Yes.
You get used to it so quickly. People think, oh, you're from Germany, you must be used to it. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. It's horrible. I hate it. The last couple of weeks were actually quite chilly for our standards.
It's like 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, something around that.
We can speak in Celsius. I speak Celsius.
There you go.
Yeah.
See? Metric system. Here we go.
America's one of the only countries that uses Fahrenheit.
I know. And I still can't tell you how much Fahrenheit is how much Celsius.
It's a very strange conversion.
Grams, pounds, ounces. When I track my food, I have to put it in three different things and stuff.
You still weigh yourself in kilos?
Yeah.
You haven't converted to pounds?
Well, it depends what I'm
Give me
doing
your
it
height
for.
in inches and...
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
feet
true.
Inches?
Yeah, that's true.
You were
See, I didn't even notice that.
Like I'm not 190 centimeters or whatever.
See?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
No, that's very right. The Europeans losing me, I think.
So I think
they're losing me slowly but surely.
You're going to start weighing things in pounds. Weighing yourself in pounds.
Yeah, no, I can't. Right? I know 100 kilos is like 220 something.
That is correct.
That is what I go off of, and then I'm lost. I don't know, man. I have no idea.
Getting a great night's sleep is one of life's finest luxuries. You got to check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. They're inspired by NASA, and they have silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating, so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. Also, say goodbye to those gross odors. Because they're infused with silver, they prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, so that means you get fresher sheets up to 3 times longer. Miracle sheets are so comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands, and they feel just as good as sheets you'd have in a 5-star hotel. If you've tried everything else, try Miracle. Upgrade your sleep this year by going to trymiracle.com/CVV. And whether you're buying them for yourself or you're buying them as a gift for a loved one, you're already going to save over 40% if you order today. But if you use the code CVV at checkout, you'll get an additional 20% off plus a free 3-piece towel kit. That's trymiracle.com/CVV.
Everyone talks about Gunther's transformation, but the transformation that you had is very impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been working hard. It's every time in my career when I felt like I'm standing still here and I have to do something, because there's only so many things that are in your hands. There's only so many things you control in our line of work, and my thing was always I gotta make sure all my stuff is on point, 11 out of 10. So I was looking at myself and thought, like, what else can you do? Working out a lot, going in the ring a lot. And at this point, it was the diet that I could have worked on a little bit, I think. I got to say, too, at that point, when I lost that much weight, I really tried to bulk as well. You know what I mean? I really tried to bulk, and I really tried to get as many calories in because I worked out hard and stuff. But then, I think like 18 weeks with the reverse diet.
What's a reverse diet?
The reverse diet is basically not going back to the calories that you used to eat, because you slowly go down a little bit. You cut the carbs here a little bit, you cut the calories a little bit, and then you lose weight. And then when you're at the point where you are happy with the body fat percentage, you can slowly go up again, because your body is so empty, basically. It sucks all the nutrients up so good, right? And uses everything perfectly. But if you all of a sudden, of course, starve your body for so many weeks and then go back with 5,000 calories every day, then obviously, that's not going to be good. Everything slowly up, slowly down. Don't shock your body like that. And that worked very, very well for me, I got to say.
Did you work with a nutritionist for that?
I did. A guy from Germany. He used to wrestle as well. I know him for a long time. And he's really good at that. So he helped me out. He helped Gunther out. He helped a bunch of the guys out.
You're like top 3 shredded abs right now.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you. Well, I'm trying. I am I think my entire look is thankfully very, very fitting to what I do. I think it complements what I do in the ring and stuff. I am never gonna be, Hulk Hogan mid-80s or something like that. That volume and all that. But I'm a different type, and I think that the adjustments that I've been doing really complemented that too.
It's lean and mean. That's what it is.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that a lot. I know you're fit as well, so that
I
means
try,
something.
but I don't have abs like that.
Well, it's everybody.
What's the secret?
Hey, man, at the end of the day, first of all, everybody has, genetics, a little better in this area or in this area, It's maybe a little bit easier for me to see my abs than for Gunther, for example, just because we're so different.
Just
two different bodies,
Yeah.
body types. But yeah, at the end of the day, no matter what people tell you, at the end of the day, it's discipline. It's hard. It sounds boring, but it's discipline. It's hard work. It's, how do you say the word? Continuity? Just continuously doing the same thing all over again, every week,
Consistency.
every day. Consistency. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, that's what it is, man.
What's the meal that you crave the most?
Honestly, that's the thing with me too. I'm eating relatively flexible. As long as you have the
Macros?
right numbers at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter too much for me. So a lot of people think that I'm like starving myself and stuff. I'm not. You're gonna see me whenever we have the West Coast loops. You see me at In-N-Out. I'll eat burgers. I'll eat fries. I even get the animal style.
Animal style.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. You just gotta hit the right numbers at the right days and stuff. How much activity do you have those days? How much did you eat the day before? Well, it's not that crazy. And at the end of the day too, we're not bodybuilders. It is not that important if I have a body fat percentage of 10 or 12%.
You're not bodybuilders, but you stand out there in your underwear for the world to see.
True, yeah. True.
For 5 million people on Netflix to see you guys.
Right.
So you do want to have it dialed in.
100%, yeah. And I do try to, we have a couple of friends who are actually actively in that scene of bodybuilding and stuff. And I try to, take whatever I can use from them, but it's just with our schedule, not doable the way they do it. That's a 24/7 job, But yeah, that's definitely elements that I can steal and use from them.
Who eats cleaner, you or Tiffany?
I do.
She doesn't eat clean?
I do. She does. She has a bigger sweet tooth than I do, I think. To me, it's easier to not do something and just say, like, no, I'm not going to do it, than to stuff myself. Stuffing myself is tough. Like bulking and all that stuff to me was tough. I felt miserable. But I don't think that would be a problem for her. But she's a strong girl, Like if she really would want to, her bulk would go crazy.
Sure.
She builds muscle well, you know what I mean? She has that muscle foundation already that's, very impressive. She could go definitely if she wanted to.
How did you two meet?
Man, on the PC, basically, we know of each other. Obviously, I've been there for a while, and she got my attention a little bit.
So was it like first day she got there? You were like, oh, who's that?
I would lie if I would say I wouldn't have noticed her. I have noticed her.
So how long from noticing her to
took a while.
How long's a while?
I want to say maybe something between 4 and 6 months.
Okay.
Let it be 3 to 6 months, something like that.
But you would say hello and maybe.
Yeah. Sometimes you would, sometimes you wouldn't. I think we kind of played the same game a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's we are very similar in a lot of ways. We are both pretty stubborn, or we can be pretty stubborn, I think. And I think nobody wanted to make the first step really. But then coincidences. I was out with a couple of friends, and she was there as well. It was her birthday weekend, and she sat down. And then I don't know how it went, but somehow we got to that. Hey, why don't we go on a date?
Wasn't it like rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah. One of us said like, well, you got to ask me. I said, well, you got to ask me. And then we played rock, paper, scissors over that, and I lost on purpose so I can ask her for a date. That's how you do it.
Smooth.
That's how you do it.
Man.
Give her the win and then win in the end.
Ludwig Kaiser.
Kaiser. Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, I've read that a couple of times.
After I did the interview with Tiffany, that's what people were calling you.
Hey man, at the end of the day, it was meant to happen. I feel like if it wouldn't have been that night, then it would have been somewhere else, I think.
And how long have you been together now?
Over 3 years now.
Hey, that's awesome. Congrats.
And we kept it a little, thank you. We kept it a little, what means we kept it a little bit is, I don't believe in selling your relationship to the public, you know? It's gonna come out. People are gonna see us. We're both in public a lot, especially together, so people are gonna see it. I can be convinced for a little TikTok here and there. She gets me in for a little TikTok here and there, but
you don't look like you enjoy them.
Well, you know, I'm not a social media guy, really. I am not naturally the type of guy who, you know, posts selfies of him or something. I don't know. I don't think I would even have social media on a private base if I wouldn't be a professional wrestler. That was my reason. My very first post was, I think, something WXW back in the day, my first Instagram post. I don't know, man. I like to use it. I just don't like to take part in it. I like to watch the other ones going crazy.
I don't think people knew that you guys were a couple till the red carpet for Bianca and Montez's show.
I think that was the first official like WWE date together as well.
Yes.
Oh, but at that point, we've been dating for a long time.
But that was like the first time I think people had seen you together at a WWE event with lots of cameras. And they went, oh, I didn't know that. That's where I met you for the first time, actually.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I remember that.
That was great.
It's to me, it was important that it's organic. I don't believe in this whole, you know, I have a relationship with somebody that I actually truly like. And the first thing that I'm going to think of is like, you know, how can I produce that into a post on social media? You know what I mean? That's not my priorities, I think. But I think we found a great way. It's tough, you know, it's very tough with our schedules. We're on different shows. It's not easy, but we make it work. And we're doing a really good job at it, I think.
Do a lot of fans just come up to you and just want to ask about your girlfriend?
No.
You're at a good point then.
No, not really. Mostly little girls.
Oh, of course.
Literally just checking in. A little girl came up to me, asked me, "Are you Tiffany's or Tiffy's? Are you Tiffy's boyfriend?" I said, "Yes, I am." So cute. Yeah, more that, I think.
You guys are both in such phenomenal shape.
Thank you.
Who is objectively in better shape?
I think objectively in better shape. I think she is probably.
You could make a real strong case for both.
Yeah, but this girl has done it all, man. She's been on the bodybuilding stages. She's done CrossFit, and you know, she knows how to suffer. She knows how to pull through. You know, when she was out for a while, we actually worked really, really hard on her comeback together, and we would jump in the ring in Orlando. And you know, she doesn't come from wrestling, and obviously, I didn't make it harder than it had to be. But coming back from an injury, it's tough, man. It's gonna suck, and you're gonna have to grit your teeth and pull through. And I made her pull through, and she did pull through, and she did amazing. And she really grew a lot in that phase, I think. And yeah, so that's what we do as well. We also, you know, train together, we work together, we basically do everything together.
What was the celebration after she won the championship?
It was awesome. I flew in because it was a huge moment, obviously. I was there for her NXT championship win back then. So I really wanted to be there as well. And, you know, we have such an amazing product, especially now. But the only thing that really doesn't do justice, I feel like, is the reaction and the way things sound when you're actually there live. Like that moment when she actually turned on Nia was crazy.
Yeah.
You gotta, like, you had to be there in order to understand that was really like a huge moment, you know? Really doesn't do it justice on TV. And, but yeah, it was amazing. I'm so happy for her because I've been there for the lows. I've been there for the highs. I've seen it all very up close, and she created something there. She's doing amazing.
So what that night look like? What'd you guys do to celebrate?
We actually had drinks after. That's the thing too. Like a lot of. It's tough for us. We're literally.
It's like midnight, right?
It is midnight. Everything is closed. This and that. And then we go back to the hotel, and then obviously everybody wants something from her, and she has it. Until we get out there, it's like it's midnight. It's 1 a.m. or something like that. But we did have a drink, and we celebrated it. And yeah, very, very good night.
I feel like your moment like that is just around the corner.
Yeah, I think it's definitely there. We're moving towards it, 100%. You know, being in the biggest and best company in the world when it comes to professional wrestling also means that you're facing the biggest and best competition in the world. That's just how it is, you know. And I'm not afraid of that. I've never been afraid of that. I've been wrestling for 10 years before I made it here. And I restarted my career. I went all the way down to the first step of the ladder again and climbed all the way up there. I did everything again. And to me, it is head down and work hard, you know?
But I've heard a lot of people talk about the frustrations of having to spend that much time in the PC, that much time in NXT, especially when you have the experience that you had.
Yeah.
Did you think that it wasn't going to happen at some point?
Well, it's easy to get lost in that, right? It is easy to get lost in that, especially, look, you're not from America. You left everything at home. You left, you know, basically everything you had there and started a new life, basically. So obviously there's always a little bit of a pressure-ish feeling behind that. But again, to me, it was always about everything that is in your hands has to be 101%. Don't give them any reason not to see that you have got everything it takes to become a major player. And I've said that before to a lot of people, like, especially when I came up to the main roster. Within the first weeks, being in the company for 7 years already, or 6 years or something like that, I realized what we do up here, that is me. That is me. That is the worker that I am, the professional wrestler that I am. This is tailor-made for me. Ludwig Kaiser, I got everything it takes to become a major player up here. And that was such a new motivation, I almost said, after those years to say, listen, man, now it's all or nothing. And that's what I've been doing since then. Every ball that's thrown at me, I knock it out of the park. And 101% in everything that I can control, you know.
I feel like you've really improved your facial expressions.
You think so?
They're great.
I'm trying.
Even just the littlest, like just one of those. Give me one of those. That's it.
Yeah, you know, I think even back in the day with WXW and stuff, all the parts that were like acting is involved and all of that were always fun to me. And I think that I always did a good job in that too. And obviously, like, coming to the main roster, that's a whole different game all of a sudden. It's much more important all of a sudden, even more important than in NXT. I feel like as soon as I had the some time on the microphone, for example, all of a sudden people were coming up to me and said, "Wow, you cut great promos." I said, "Yeah, I've been always cutting good promos. That was always my thing, basically, back then already, but nobody really saw it." And yeah, then I got the chance to do it, and I'm very comfortable with that, especially nowadays too, because Ludwig Kaiser and that whole name change and everything too gave me a chance to really do what I want to do. Who am I? What do people think of me when they see me for the first time? Because that is one of the things that I'm definitely gifted with. Whatever crowd I stepped in front, they knew right away who I am. They knew right away, man, we don't like this guy. We're gonna boo this guy out of the building. And I learned that very quickly, and I learned to use that for my advantage. And, you know, yeah, it's definitely a powerful tool.
Would you ever want to work as a babyface?
You know what? I never say never. Never say never. I do believe that I can work babyface. I think that I could be a good babyface. I had a good babyface run in me. But even
you're
in
such a good heel.
Even when I was in Germany and I was a babyface, I was never the 100% of the crowd is on my side babyface. I was always very polarizing, very, you know, either people really hated me or they really liked me. Most of the times the kids and the women liked me, and the men hated my guts. There was a time in WXW where I was supposed to be that babyface runner-up, and they hated it. It was like 80% against 20%, really like killing me out there. But yeah, I do think I got it in me. First of all, though, I gotta knock this heel thing out, be natural, and be who I am, because it comes obviously much more natural to me.
There's something about when you grab the mic, the crowd's already booing you, right? And then you start talking and it gets much worse.
Yeah, it's what sucks in private life is my my money in wrestling. People don't like me when they first meet me. I gotta I gotta make a conscious effort to show you who I am and like show that I'm actually can be a nice guy.
Oh, but look, people are seeing even from this interview right now that who you are sitting here is so vastly different from the character.
Yeah, and still I think and that is I think one of the secrets in professional wrestling as well. Still, people know, looking at me right now, they know why they don't like me. They still look at me and they go like, "Oh man, I've seen this whole different side of him," but I still don't like him.
No.
I look at him, which is very good. It is very good. I'm happy that it is that way.
But this comment section is going to be filled with like, "You made me like Ludwig Kaiser."
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
is that a bad thing?
I don't know. I'll let them watch the next Monday Night Raw on Netflix next Monday, and then they're going to hate me again. We'll get it done.
Bring it back around.
We'll get it done. I'll turn it around again. No problem.
Do you think at some point you and Tiffany would be together or doing something?
I don't know. Obviously, that's something that would have to happen organic. I wouldn't want to do that just to do that.
Yeah.
Obviously, we work in the same company, and that possibility is given. But yeah, I like to keep my private. You know what I mean? I'm a little old school maybe when it comes to that. But no, definitely when it comes to work, obviously, I think we could do some great stuff. We could bring the mixed match challenge back.
That's right.
Win some gold there maybe.
That could be good.
Who knows?
NordVPN has been a lifesaver for me. And have you seen how much you can save on pay-per-views when you change a virtual location to a place where maybe those pay-per-views cost a little bit less or perhaps a lot less? UFC pay-per-views in the US are $79.99. Boxing pay-per-views are right around the same. So use Nord the next time you want to watch one of those. There's also an added layer of peace of mind when I'm accessing websites around the world. It gives me a lot of security, which is something that I don't think that we think about enough. And it costs about the same as a cup of coffee per month. So if you want to check out NordVPN for a limited time, go to nordvpn.com/CVV and you can access our exclusive deal, which gives our listeners a huge discount plus 4 extra months, and there's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So check out nordvpn.com/CVV or just click that link down below in the description.
What did it mean to you to wrestle LA Knight in Germany?
It was great. It was awesome just because I wrestled all over Germany, really. I wrestled in front of, I think the first show that my mom came to see me was in front of 30 people in a garage. Really crazy. And now to, bring her to Berlin and she walks into that Uber arena and she sees me wrestle there. Man, I get goosebumps thinking about that. It was crazy. Because my mom helped me so much during my career, man. My mom gave me like the last $20 out of her wallet to send me to wrestling school and stuff. It's amazing to see all those, even like friends too, who've seen me struggle back then, come on, man, get a side job. Say, no, I want to wrestle. I'm just going to wrestle. If I'm 45 and I live up the government and my body is broken, at least my best years I used for what I loved and what I wanted to do. And that was my number one thing, That's actually why I also believe everything worked that way, because I genuinely always did it for the love of the game, to do my dad proud. I've never did it for money or for fame or anything like that. So obviously coming back to Germany then in front of all my people there was insane, man. Awesome.
Your dad didn't get a chance to see you wrestle in WWE.
Unfortunately not, no. He saw me wrestle a couple of times, but I know for my dad that would have been the absolute greatest to see me on the television.
I'm sure he's very proud of you.
And see me. He used to live in Florida actually for a while. So I even could have brought him over. He missed that by a few years, unfortunately.
That's very full circle that he was in Florida and now you're in Florida living your dream.
It's crazy, right?
It's amazing.
He used to show me pictures of him swimming with dolphins when he first married my mom. And fast forward, I don't know, 25 years later, I'm in Orlando.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
It's amazing how life works out.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's amazing how life lines you up to be exactly where you're supposed to be at the exact right time.
100%. If you work hard enough to get there, I feel like, the harder I work, the more everything falls into place. The
more opportunities you get.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's always a little bit both. It's always the work and it's always the getting your butt up and do stuff, and then obviously opportunity and a little bit of luck as well, right?
Yeah. What is it about those European crowds? Like, they're insane.
You know what, man? I gotta say, I think it's heavily football/soccer driven. I think the culture, it's such a deep-rooted culture in Europe. I gotta say too, like, you have to separate the European crowds a little bit because they're very different.
That's true.
My favorite ones, I hope my fellow Germans don't hate me, but the best crowds are the British and Irish crowds, I would say. Absolutely crazy, mental, and they're so great. They have such a deep fan culture from football and stuff. They come up with songs on the spot. I've been called things there. I've wrestled there for the first couple of times. I've been called all sorts of things over there, and they put it in melodies, and everybody knows the songs all of a sudden. It's crazy. Then you got Italy, for example. Italy is, you know, they're like from the south. They're very, you know, emotional and very, you know, they very loud and very, but almost uncontrollable. It's very, you know. Then Germany is I gotta tell you, Berlin really showed up. They really showed how it's done, because normally it can be tough for us on the German crowd, because German people much different to the English people who pay their money and they're just excited and they wait and they give me something to react. Germans are more like, well, I paid good money here, so show me, entertain me. You know, that's like more like a demanding situation there. But Berlin was just amazing, so they really showed they can do it.
Did you fight hard to try to be on that card?
I did fight for it. I did. There were conversations about it, and there were also, it wasn't really clear if it would happen or not. But again, it's tough, man. It's a PLE. We have so much stuff. If you look at the card that night, it is almost impossible to even get on there. It's like so much star power, and again, we have the greatest superstars in the world, you know. And when I look at that card, I understand why we weren't on that card that night. But I damn well know I will be. I will 100% be. You know what I mean? Because like Germany showed out that night, and it's a great market for the company. And it's my first time there with WWE. Really, you know, there's a lot of shows to come and a lot of opportunities. And I can definitely promise you, Ludwig Kaiser is going to use all of those.
You had a banger with Sheamus.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was something special.
Sheamus is special, man. You know, obviously we're talking about a future Hall of Famer. We're talking about someone that I've watched as a teenager. You know. But also Sheamus is someone who's he's a tough, nasty guy to work with. Because if you don't stomp this guy into the ground, he is gonna come back up. You can't catch your breath with this guy, you know, because he really is everything he says he is. He is that crazy Irish man who loves to fight and goes out there and come back all bloody, and you know, he loves that. He loves to go to war, and it triggers something in me that really wants to punch his head in, you know. So I really don't get tired of wrestling this guy. It's fun, but I'm also pissed off fighting him, because it is a war. It is a war with him. I gotta tell you though, one of the greatest matches of my career so far, and I love to do it again whenever I can. Smash this old man's head in, I will do it again.
Does anybody hit harder than Gunther?
Oh, Gunther. I mean, look, man, he's there for a reason. He's the real deal. No, he has gigantic hands as well, you know.
Man, he chops so hard.
He does, yeah, he does.
Are they the hardest chops you've ever taken?
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
loudest
no
ones and the ones that go really through you and stuff. Yeah, most definitely. I think I got chopped basically all over the world by him. Yeah, you know, that didn't happen for a while, which I'm glad about. It's better to be on Gunther's side than against him, you know.
Who knows though? At some point,
yeah, you know, we as a European, I'm obviously my fellow European and one of my best friends. I'm loyal, you know.
That's what you say now. I'll play back this interview clip, and whenever that happens, if you ever turn on him,
I could
or
never.
if he ever turns on you.
I don't think so. I was about to say never, but of course, in this case, I would say I would never turn on.
Does he not have a championship that perhaps you would like?
It's always about prioritizing, and I know that Gunther would do the same thing for me. And I don't.
Would he?
Yeah.
Yeah. That triple threat match was fantastic.
Thank you.
What did that one mean to you?
Well, it was my first PLE. It was a great crowd that night. It was interesting program. It was an interesting rivalry, I think, because we had obviously Sheamus in there, who's extremely popular. We have Bron Breakker in there, who is extremely popular as well. And then we had the only bad guy in there, me, obviously, that everyone hated. So it was a very interesting dynamic. And obviously, both of those guys, I got to work with them a bunch, actually. And they're both great. Bron Breakker, obviously, a massive talent. Don't think I've ever seen athlete like him who could actually transition into the whole thinking and understanding of professional wrestling that fast. It was very, very good. And it was fun. It was a great night. I'm rarely happy with my performances and matches, but I gotta say that night we did a good job.
It seems like all three of you brought out the best in each other. Like just putting all three of you together, it was firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, I think that's also because of the dynamic was right. The setup for it was right because we all wrestled each other basically a couple of times before, and all those matches were like so different. But I would interfere in Bron's match, and then Sheamus would interfere in our match, and it's like this. Yeah, this. I think a lot of times triple threats can be a little weird, even like to wrestle them. But in this case, it just made so much sense. It was perfect, and it actually helped the entire story, I think.
When Bron's running around the ring and gives you that spear, how much did that hurt?
Yeah, it hurts. Well, it's in there, man. He's intense. He's fast. He's
running like 40 miles an hour.
His acceleration is good. He's explosive, He's really explosive, and he's coming in. He's coming in hot, definitely. And but that was not the only thing that hurt that night. I can tell you that much. I can tell you who got hurt that night. It was Sheamus. I whacked the out of him with that shillelagh. I've been looking forward to that. I can tell you that much. Man, there's a lot of stuff in me that I had to let go, And in those seconds, I let it go. Gotta tell you though, this tough bastard though. Back then, he was still standing and everything. Nothing was wrong. This guy,
crazy.
Telling you can't keep him down. Can't keep him down.
When you dodged that spear from Bron Breakker and he just plowed full force into the announce table, did you kind of look back at that and go, oh, damn?
Man, funny enough, I had no idea because I was sitting with my back to him and I literally, he's so fast. Again, he's so fast. My only thing was I had to get up real quick and I kicked his leg out. And while kicking his leg out, obviously I go back as well. And he's so fast that he hit that table before I even got to turn around. So I didn't
he hit the corner of the table.
It looked crazy. I saw it afterwards. It did look crazy. Again, another time where he's proven that he is a great athlete, man. I think other people would have probably died there. It's great.
Yeah, or been like really injured.
Yeah, he's tough, man. He's one of a kind, definitely.
It's crazy. So if 2024 was such a big year for you, what's the goal here in this year?
I think I've been going up and I've been getting better, and I gotta say too, man, I can't even complain because whenever I've been in the ring with anyone last year, it was only top guys. So I can't complain. I can't say that I'm not happy with this year because, like I said, there's all those names that I wrestled with. Big names. I wrestled Randy Orton. I wrestled John Cena in India. I wrestled Sheamus a bunch of times. Kofi Kingston. So many guys,
You wrestled CM Punk at Madison Square Garden.
I wrestled CM Punk. What a way to end the year, I wrestled CM Punk in the Madison Square Garden. So if you would have told me that 10 years ago, so it was a great year. But obviously, man, look, my eyes are on the prize. So again, I know Ludwig Kaiser has got everything that it takes to become a major player, and that is definitely what I see at the end of the tunnel. Become a major player, whatever that is in this company. I'm gonna put my stamp on this. I'm gonna definitely. I want to set some records. I'm the only German over here. You know what I mean? It's a huge deal. If you would have told somebody 10 years ago there's going to be a German over there, you know, being in the Royal Rumble or like being in WrestleMania or stuff like that was unimaginable, not heard of, you know? So there's so much for me to achieve. And people forget too, it's only been 1 year. It's only been 1 year.
1 year
me,
as a
you know?
single star on the main roster.
It's been 1 year that you can really count for me. So, man, everything is going in the right direction. You can be sure I'm always going to be ready, and I'm gonna, you know, keep working forward to that. And I'm sure 2025 is a big year for Ludwig Kaiser.
The Undertaker sees something in you. Did you see this very nice praise that he gave you?
I did, yeah. I talked to him as well.
You did?
Yeah, goosebumps, man. Those are the moments where you really go, hey, man, somebody pinch me, because that's crazy. Undertaker, he's such a great guy, you know?
Yeah.
He is really...
It's very kind.
But also, he tells you exactly what you need to hear, and I appreciate that, because a lot of people sugarcoat, you know? It doesn't help me. You can't help me if you're going to beat around the bush. And he wasn't mean or anything, but he said on the point what he thinks I should do. And it was something that I felt myself anyway. And he just reassured me, you know. It was one of those meetings in life where you go like, man, if that wouldn't have happened, who knows? Great. And then him just, you know, actually, I think we talked like 20 minutes or something, like taking time and actually like, you know, being somewhat invested in that, which he wouldn't have to do. He's the Undertaker, you know. But yeah, I don't think I could get any bigger praise than something like that from the Undertaker. It meant a whole lot to me.
And then now you have to live up to it.
Yeah, now I have to live up with it. But that's the thing too, right? You look, man, I'm really trying. Like whenever I go out there, I'm prepared. That's the number one thing. I'm sure it's the same for you. When you're prepared, then you can rely on your skill, and then you're gonna be good. It's gonna work out one way or the other. You know what I mean? If you have a skill problem, that's when it gets problematic, because if you can't rely on your own skill, well, then that's.
It's been fun watching you out there, and like I mean this in the best way. It's fun to boo you.
Thank you.
Like, it's really fun. As soon as your music hits, like, we don't like that guy. And I can tell that you're just, you have such a passion for it. And that just oozes through with everything you do.
That means a lot, man. Thank you.
So I can't wait to see what's next for you. And I'm so glad we were able to sit down and do this. Congratulations on all of the success thus far. But I'm excited for what's next for you.
Chris, thank you so very much, man. It means a lot. Thank you.
And I will end this with the question I ask everybody at the end, because gratitude's so big for me. I wake up, I say out loud 3 things I'm grateful for. I do it before I go to sleep with my wife. What are 3 things that you're grateful for in your life right now?
I'm grateful for my family. Grateful for my friends. And I'm grateful, man, for my life, for everything, the way it happened and the way it came together, and the way that I am allowed to live and that I've been given is just amazing. And I would have never thought that 10 years ago. So yeah, just my life in general.
Amazing. Well, great to see you, man.
Great to see you. Thank you so much, Chris.
No, thank you.
Appreciate you.